So React versus Next.js. It's one of the biggest points of confusion for developers out there, right? End of this explainer, you are going to have a crystal clear understanding of what they are, what they do, and which one you should be using.
You don't
And that
replace
React, you enhance it. So let's start at the beginning with the foundation itself, React.
Now, what's really interesting on this slide is that one little word, library. See, React's main job, its whole purpose in life, is to help you build user interfaces. You know, the part of the app your users actually see and click on. And it does this brilliantly by letting you chop up these huge, complex UIs into small, reusable pieces called components. And you see React absolutely everywhere. It's pretty much perfect for things like those complex dashboards with lots of data, or internal admin tools, or really any app where you need a super interactive, dynamic experience for the user. Think of it as the go-to specialist for the front end. And here's the trade-off. Because React is a library and not a whole framework, it gives you a ton of freedom. But, with great freedom comes great responsibility. You have to make a lot of decisions and set up all the other pieces of the puzzle yourself. Which, of course, leads us to the big question. Why was Next.js even created in the first place?
Okay, so React is amazing for building UIs. We got that. But the moment you start building a full, production-ready website, you quickly start bumping into a few common walls. This is the why behind Next.js.
Okay, here's the crucial thing you have to understand. A standard React app, by default, does all of its work inside the user's browser. This is called client-side rendering. And that's the root cause of two major headaches, a potentially slow initial page load and some pretty big challenges for search engine optimization, or SEO. Plus, you have to figure out other big things yourself, like how to handle different pages. That's routing. These pain points are exactly why Next.js exists. And this is where Next.js comes into the story. It was created by the folks at Vercel to solve those exact problems we just talked about, building directly on top of all the power that React already gives you.
See the big shift in language here? We went from library to framework. A framework is just more. It's more comprehensive. It gives you a solid structure and solves all those common problems for you right out of the box. So you can just focus on building your actual application. Next.js doesn't just hand you React. It gives you React inside this powerful production-ready system.
Let's just hammer this point home one more time because it is so, so important. Learning Next.js is learning React. You're just learning it with a whole set of superpowers and conventions that are going to make your life as a developer way, way easier.
So what are these power-ups that Next.js gives you? What's the secret sauce? This is where you're going to really see the difference it makes when you're building modern web apps. This first one is a total game changer. So instead of sending your user a blank HTML page and a big chunk of JavaScript to figure out, Next.js can actually build the page on the server first. That means the user gets a fully formed page almost instantly, which is amazing for performance, and honestly, it's absolutely critical for SEO.
And here's another brilliant trick it has up its sleeve. For content that doesn't change all the time, like a blog post or a landing page, Next.js can just generate the HTML file ahead of time when you build your site. And the result? Blazing fast load times, because you're basically just serving a simple static file.
Remember how we said routing was a manual job in React? Well, look at how simple this is in Next.js. You literally just create a file in a specific folder, and that's it. You have a new page on your site. This whole file system-based routing thing is so intuitive and simple, and it needs zero setup.
This is another huge convenience factor. Let's say you need a small backend to grab some data or handle a contact form. Well, you can build API endpoints right inside your Next.js project. It keeps your entire application, your front end and your back end, all in one neat and tidy place.
And it just keeps going. Next.js is packed with performance features right out of the box. It automatically optimizes your images, it splits your code into smaller chunks so users only download what they need for that page, and so much more. These are all things you would have to spend hours setting up yourself in a standard React app. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's put it all together and do a direct, side-by-side comparison to really nail down the key differences. This table pretty much tells the whole story, doesn't it? React is a library for the UI, Next.js is a full framework. React needs you to set up things like routing yourself. Next.js has it built in. And, most importantly, Next.js gives you server-side rendering and static generation, which gives it this huge leg up in both performance and SEO. So, the big question is, when should you use which one? Well, if you're building a highly interactive app where SEO just doesn't matter, like an internal dashboard for a company, plain old React is totally fine. But for almost any website that faces the public, we're talking blogs, e-commerce sites, marketing pages, SaaS platforms, anywhere performance and SEO are critical, Next.js is really the clear winner. All right, let's bring this all home with the single most important idea to take away from this whole explainer. It all boils down to that one difference: library versus framework. Think of it this way. React is one single, incredibly powerful piece of the puzzle. It's the UI piece. But Next.js gives you the whole puzzle box. It takes React and then surrounds it with all the other essential pieces like routing, rendering, and performance optimizations, and it puts them all together for you. It lets you build the complete picture, which is why so many companies are just making it their default choice.
And that's our final thought for you today. If you're just starting out with React, just think of Next.js as the logical, powerful, and professional path forward. It's not a detour, it's the main highway for modern web development.
Hey, if this explainer helped make things click for you, let us know by hitting that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the tools and tech that really matter to developers.